Thanks, you walk her. Yeah, I blocked her, and then that's the card information for the clean crystals app. Cool. Looks so cute today. Thanks. Thank you.
That's weird. There's no registration required. Try this. All right, cool. Let me get everything set up. Welcome to the Sometimes Spouse podcast. I am Christy Ogle, and today on Ask an Expert, we have Amie Kelly, who is an independent director with Mary Kay. Thank you for being here, Amie.
Thank you. I'm super excited. Hello, Facebook world. Happy to be here.
We are so excited to have you. Now, you are a director with Mary Kay. How long have you been with Mary Kay?
21 years. I started when I was about 19. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, 21 years. I love it.
Wow. That is amazing. What did you do in a former life before Mary Kay?
So before Mary Kay, I was a school teacher. I went to Baylor, graduated, and that's what brought me to Waco and stayed here. And my parents moved to California while I was in college, so I really didn't have a home to go back to. So I loved Waco, and this was back when everybody left. You know, now everybody's coming back, which is super interesting. But, you know, when you didn't go downtown, and now I've loved the transformation. But I went to Baylor, graduated, got a teaching job right out of college, and was a fourth grade teacher, a Spanish teacher, and an ESL teacher and coordinator in China Spring the last 6 years that I worked.
Wow, that is amazing. I wonder if we worked together. I worked at China Spring for a year.
Yeah, what year was it?
It was 13 years ago, so 2007.
I left in 2002. So my former students are in their 30s and having babies, and some have kids older than mine, which is funny.
Wow.
But
you don't look like you're that old. It must be the skincare routine that you do.
it is. We'll talk all about that. I can give you all the secrets. Yeah.
Amie, do you have any interesting hobbies?
I love to be on the water. So anywhere near water is my happy place. I grew up on Canyon Lake, which is near San Antonio, New Braunfels area. And so we were always out on the lake, and grew up on a swim team before that. So just anything near water, wake surfing, water skiing, although I ripped my hamstring last summer. So that has been put on hold for a little bit.
Oh, I bet. Now, what is your favorite part about your career with Mary Kay?
Oh my gosh, we could do a whole podcast about this. I love the freedom. I started my business so I could be at home with our future kids. We didn't have children when I started, but I was a teacher married to a teacher, and you know what that means? No money. no freedom, no flexibility. And so I started my Mary Kay business, hopefully to be able to quit one day and have income. And so within 2 years, I was able to quit teaching and work Mary Kay full time. And so, yeah, the freedom has been amazing. So we actually built our family through adoption, another fun podcast topic we could do. But, and so I have been able to live that dream of staying home with my kids. They never went to daycare, which I know some mamas like daycare, and that no judgment at all. But for me, I've loved having them home.
That would be an interesting podcast subject because my youngest daughter is adopted.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I'm going to write
Yeah.
that.
Write it down, girl. Put a pin in it.
Yeah, I'll remember
later
to have you back on.
Yes, I'm passionate about that. I'll talk all day.
Yeah, I love it. Now, why is it important for women and men to take care of their skin?
Well, and I love that you grouped men in with that, because I even worked with my insurance agent recently, and he's like, well, I don't wear makeup. And I asked him, well, do you have skin? And he said, yes. And I said, do you want to look old? And he said, no. So, none of us want to look old. And it's just so important daily to take good care of your skin. And even just the simple process of washing your face is age fighting. They say that every night you go to bed and you don't wash your face, your skin ages 1 to 2 weeks. So to me, unless you want to look old, have fun with that. But I love that you can be in control of some of that, and we'll touch on different ways that you can slow the signs of aging.
So what are some ways that we can slow the signs of aging?
Well, let me ask you, what do you think causes the most of your aging? What do you think is the biggest influencer?
I think it's the sun.
You're right. In fact, our research shows, Mary Kay, we do all of the research and development with our products. We create our own products. Everything is done right up the road in Dallas. So I love that it's not outsourced. It is kept right here in Texas. So the sun causes 80% of your aging, and that comes from, UVB rays. We all know UVB rays burn your skin, but the more harmful rays are the UVA rays, and they go deeper to the dermal layers of your skin. They cause the spots. We start seeing age spots in our 30s. They cause the wrinkles. They start as fine lines, and then they get deeper. So the sun is definitely one way you can control that, by wearing a hat. Most importantly, wearing sunscreen, which that should be in your daily routine. Even if you're not going to the beach or going to the pool, incidental sun exposure does a lot of damage. And y'all just take your phone in a minute and Google trucker with sun damage. And that'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with incidental sun exposure. But just look up trucker with sun damage. And a man was a truck driver for like 40 years. And the left side of his face is just super, super damaged. The right side is normal aging. I think he's like 64. So the sun is one way. Drink a lot of water. Don't smoke. Smoking causes your skin to age prematurely. Get sleep. Rest is when your body renews itself. And so those are the most important ways to fight the signs of aging.
Wow, that is unbelievable. So when you said that, I of course Googled it, and it's unbelievable, like the difference in this guy's face. He looks 90 on one side of his face, and the other side, he looks like he's just a normal 60-ish year old.
Right. Yes. Share that content if you can. Isn't it crazy? I show that at a lot of my appointments because I love the sun. The other thing too is my father passed away from skin cancer at 58, and I am real close to the 50. And so, when you're in your 20s and you lose your dad in his 50s, you think, well, that's, oldish, but it's not old at all. His life was cut short, and it was skin cancer. So, he was a redhead and grew up playing Little League, and they didn't wear sunscreen in the 50s. So.
Yeah, I don't remember us wearing sunscreen until late 80s, early 90s, something like that.
Right. And then it was that copper tone, that SPF 4. SPF 4 doesn't do anything for you, but it sure smelled great. I still love that smell. I don't even know if you can get that old brown bottle. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And it wasn't this fancy spray-on stuff. It was you had to rub it down.
Well, I feel like half of the spray-on stuff ends up in the air anyway, so But yeah, and with SPF, just a quick note. So SPF 30 is what you really need, especially on your face every single day. But, you know, people think like an SPF 60 is double a 30, and it's really not. It's like 2% more protection. And then like SPF 100, you know, some people are like, oh, I got 100. I'm super covered. And it's like 3% more than a 30. So like our facial products have SPF 30, which is what dermatologists recommend. And then our body sunscreen, if you're going to the beach, you're out and about, or you're doing a lot of driving, you need that 50 on there. And I've actually had, this is a basal cell skin cancer that had to be cut out twice. So, and I think it's from a lot of the driving that I do, you know, making deliveries. And so you got to protect, think about what is getting sun, you know, while you're out and about.
So you're really passionate because of the loss of your father and also your skin cancer issues. You're passionate about skincare, definitely in the summer, but all year long. It's important to take care of it all year.
Right. And Christy, so one of my friends, this is a true story. She was having a baby. Her feet were in the stirrups. Hope that's not too much TMI for your listeners, but her doctor walks in to deliver the baby, and the doctor noticed a mole on the bottom of her foot. So that's obviously not a place that has ever seen the sun. And long story short, it was a melanoma, and she had to get it cut out. Thankfully, she didn't have to go through chemotherapy, but she had to get a big hole on the bottom of her foot cut out because she had a melanoma there. So not all melanoma comes from, and not all skin cancer comes from the sun.
Wow.
That's why it's important to get checked.
Good to know. Where would they go to get checked, Amie, just in case they don't know?
Right. Well, any dermatologist, you know, and if you have a family history, you should be going probably every 6 months. I go every 6 months, and they just look at my body everywhere. And your regular physician can refer you to one. And especially if you're fair skin, freckles, blue eyes. Christy, I think that might be you too. So, but my mom, so interestingly, my mom has green eyes. She has been a gardener. She's major green thumb, but she was getting her hair cut probably 10 years ago, and her hairdresser noticed something in her scalp, turned out to be a melanoma, had to get it cut out. So I've got it on both sides of my family. So I have to be extra, extra careful. But, you know, that's not a place that you can see. When you're doing self-checks, you don't look in your scalp. Well, have your spouse, you know, look in your scalp, look between your toes and your fingers. So it can happen in weird places.
Yeah, my grandma, she's passed now, but she had one on her nose. She was a farmer's wife.
Okay.
Born in 1918, and she had to get pieces of her nose taken off about once every year or 2 years, and she didn't have much of her nose left. Well, back then they didn't have anything like sunscreen, you know, in the 1930s and 40s and 50s.
For sure.
But she always made us grandkids wear sunscreen as soon as it came out.
That's smart.
To survive, you know, the farming life, because those are people, they don't think about it. Hey, that's our job. We're out working. A truck driver, hey, I'm working. You've got to take care of that skin, because skin cancer can be a huge issue.
Well, and it doesn't discriminate age-wise too. You know, I have a friend that was like 22 when he got diagnosed. He's about 28 now, still fighting it. So you just have to be vigilant with that. And especially if you have the fair skin, freckles, light eyes, or family history. But now what's different is all sunscreens, I believe this to be true, that all sunscreens are required to have what's called broadband or broad spectrum, it's not cable, broad spectrum protection, which is UVA and UVB protection. Most of them only just had the UVB protection in the past.
So the best way to take care of yourself out in the summer in the sun is a hat, a shirt, you said, sunscreen, anything else that we can think of?
Stay in the shade. We were at a pool party not that long ago, and oh man, I just had to turn my filter off for a minute because there were all these moms out with their kids, no hats. One lady was so fair, and I wanted to go spray her down and put a hat on her. And I'm like the sunscreen queen, but yeah. So you know, I just stayed out of the sun. My poor arms, I have all these little white spots, and it's my body saying stop. So yeah, just if there's shade, get in the shade. Hat for sure. And go ahead.
Mary Kay has recently started doing sunscreen. At least I've noticed it this year. You might have had it before.
Yes, we've had it for a long time. It's just now, we have the recommendation from the Skin Cancer Foundation. We get their, seal of approval for all of our products. And also it's in our daily moisturizer. So, you have a choice. We have a daily moisturizer with it, one without it, but always choose with, right? And so, and you can get, it used to be like sunscreen was real oily and it like stung. And, now there's so much good research that you can get good sunscreen that doesn't have the irritating ingredients in your daily skincare. So that's really what I recommend.
Awesome. Now, we've talked a little bit about that summer skincare. Tell me how I, as a woman, let's say if I were 40, I'm just 29, but if I was in my 40s, what would be the best skincare routine for a woman like me?
Great question. And I actually worked with a new client yesterday who's 42, and she reached out to me. We were at a party recently, and she's like, okay, I want my skin to look like yours. Show me what I need to do. And so she had some discoloration, and that's from, sun exposure. Sometimes hormones can cause some pigmentation, some hyperpigmentation. Pregnancy can cause that. So we have products that help with that. The sun also makes that worse. The one thing I recommend for sure, daily cleansing, daily hydration. Even if you're oily, I have oily skin, or I have T-zone oily. So I use a moisturizer that helps slow that down. Now, one thing I want to stress is, have y'all heard, and Christy, have you heard of vitamin C?
Yeah.
Of course you have. We eat oranges and drink orange juice. But have you heard of the topical skincare benefits of it?
No, I haven't.
So the latest research is showing, so two things: your body can't make vitamin C, your body can't store it. So it has to get it from outside sources. I take a supplement. I highly recommend that for building your immunity. But then, orange juice, that kind of thing, great. Oranges, there's a lot of fruits and even some vegetables that have vitamin C. Well, they have also found that topically, there's so many benefits. For example, you can slow the signs of aging. It helps, vitamin C helps kind of give your skin a lift. Also, it will fight past sun damage. So that skin that's damaged at a dermal layer, right, deeper below the epidermis, the serums that contain vitamin C, and you want a high concentration, go past that epidermis to the dermal layer, and it helps repair past sun damage. That's really important to me. Also discoloration, that kind of thing. But there's so many. You can Google health or skincare benefits of vitamin C, and that is a supplement that I would definitely add in your 40s. I would add it in your mid 30s even. It's always easier to prevent than to repair.
So don't just go out and get orange juice and pour it on your face.
Right.
Actually, Google the serum that you need for that topical vitamin C cream.
Yeah, and ours specifically has 5,000 times the vitamin C of an orange. So you want a high concentration. So and serums are expensive, you guys. But Mary Kay, something I love, just a quick plug, is we're not in stores, and we don't advertise. We don't pay Jennifer Aniston to sell our product, and so anyway, that's why we can keep our prices low. And our serum is a great price.
Yeah, and I've used Mary Kay for years. I used it in my 20s, and I think I came back to it in my 30s. But I love this stuff. I love trying out the new things. And this week I've been trying out Mary Kay lipsticks on my Facebook page, and a little bit bolder.
Good. It's good to be bold.
Yeah, but not in person. This is just for the video, guys. So it looks good. I love their product. It lasts forever. It's a great price. Plus, I've got lots of friends that they do this for a living.
Right.
It's an amazing kind of business.
It is. I love it. It's been life-changing for us, for sure. Our kids are so thankful for it. My husband is super thankful for it. He calls me his sugar mama. So it's definitely changed our quality of life. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys choices, and just to have the freedom to choose to be able to stay home and to travel. And, and with this Corona that just hit, we've been practicing for this for 63 years. Mary Kay's been around that long. 56. We started in 1963. I work from home. So I continue to work from home. It's been
Now,
great.
tell me, what do you do other than Mary Kay? Like you do that as a career, but I've heard you mention your family several times. You have several kiddos. I saw one before the podcast. She was gorgeous, by the way.
So sweet. She is a sweetheart. So we have a 14-year-old son. We had 4 miscarriages, and then I actually had a stroke, which is crazy. Had to have heart surgery. They repaired a hole in my heart that caused the stroke. And then we had 2 more miscarriages after my son, and then adopted our daughter. We adopted both of our kids. They're beautiful and precious. And the one thing I love is my husband and I are like the whitest people in the world. And we have 2 kids with amazing skin. So our daughter's beautiful. And our daughter came from a connection I have through my Mary Kay business. So we adopted one of my good friends' granddaughters. Her daughter was in an unplanned pregnancy. And so they are very much involved in our life and in her life, including the birth mom. And both of my kids know their story. So again, that's a whole nother, we're getting off the subject here, but I am passionate about adoption.
That's okay. With the Sometimes Spouse podcast, we talk about the expert stuff, and then we kind of talk about family, because family first is what's really important. And that's our motto here at Sometimes Spouse. And I know that's a huge part of Mary Kay. I've studied Mary Kay. I've read all of her books and
good.
studied her for years. So I have
good for you.
Mad props for everyone in that business. And I mean, Mary Kay was just an amazing woman. We could do a whole podcast on her too.
We could. And I think you and her have a lot in common, because you're both entrepreneurs, and, you know, she started her business in her 40s and built such a wonderful company that was always faith first, family second, career third. So
love it. I love it. So Amie, if my listeners want to get a hold of you and learn how they can take care of their skin, and especially in the summertime in Texas with that sun beating down on them,
yes.
how can they get a hold of you?
Okay, well, you can find me on Facebook. And I guess, does it show my name? It's AMIE and then Mersinger.
I tagged you so they can find if they're on one of the lives.
There I am.
Yeah.
So the easiest way would probably be to send me a message on Facebook. I also have a website, and it's www.marykay.com/Amie Kelly. So I would love to help you. I've got clients all over the country. One thing I love about our company, there's no territory, so we can build our team and our client base from all over. So I'd love to help you. That's what I love about this business. You know, I never sold anything in my life, including Girl Scout cookies, and so I had a big I can't do this, so fearful and so skeptical. And what I really found is that we help people, and I have a heart for women and a heart for helping, and I do custom makeovers as well. So I'm a freelance makeup artist as well. And I just love helping women feel beautiful.
We've got to talk then, because I was watching a show the other day and I was like, I want to know how to do those smoky eyes.
Girl, I want to help you with that. And then if you know me for longer than 5 minutes, you know I'm going to fix your eyebrows. So how many of you in Waco have I fixed your eyebrows? It's about 300 of them. I'm the Waco eyebrow interventionalist. So
wow,
I need an eyebrow podcast.
You should do. I'm
not kidding.
There's one out there for that. I've never seen it, but I'm going to Google it after off.
Girl. Okay. And funny story. So my phone, I'll keep things until they are just, kaput. And my phone finally bit the dust. So I got this new phone, and it has, the Face ID you hold, and so that was new technology for me. Well, so when I did the thing where you do your face like this, I had my glasses on, and of course my eyebrows were on. And so it, it recognizes me just great. But I swear in the morning with no makeup, and I had, my skin, I'm fair. My hair is naturally blonde. So my eyebrows are very fair, and I've got to fill them in. So my phone doesn't recognize me in the morning. Cracks me up. I'm like, it's me. It's me.
Well, before I end the podcast, I always like to ask you an interesting question.
Sure.
So if you were stranded on a desert island and all of your human needs were met, you could take 2 things with you. What would those 2 things be, and why?
And my kids would be there already.
That's a human need, I think, as a mom.
Okay, I agree. Goodness, girl. A boat, so we could have some fun.
Yeah.
And probably sunscreen or a hat. Are those human needs?
It's up to you on that one.
Okay, we'll go boat. And that's a good question. 2 things. Girl, I'm a very simple person. I am not high maintenance. Give me my family, give me a little bit of food and a shelter, and I'm good to go. So, and water. I don't know, maybe a boat and a jet ski.
Oh, and a jet ski. I love it. I want to be on your neighboring island so we can hang out.
Yes, come over, let's play. Yeah.
Well, Amie, thank you so much for being a part of the Sometimes Spouse podcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for asking, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm thankful that you use our product. We appreciate that you're supporting local. Anytime you shop with a Mary Kay girl, you're supporting local businesses. So we appreciate that.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you guys for listening to the Sometimes Spouse podcast. This has been Christy Ogle and Amie Kelly, who's an independent director with Mary Kay.
Yes.